It's been a very difficult week having to listen, read, and look at all the terrible images of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael who were brutally murdered, decapitated, beheaded, families torn apart and decimated because of these Hamas barbarians as they invaded our homeland. And we are davening with all of you. We continue to daven each and every day to do something special and different in the hopes that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will hear our tefillos and will allow us to emerge victorious from this war and wipe off all of the terrorists who look to destroy us and our families and our loved ones. Wanted to share a thought which I think has relation to what is happening in Eretz Yisrael, at least an attitude, a mindset that can help us during these challenging times. Towards the end of the parsha, we learn that after Cain killed his brother, Cain was nava not tied ba'aretz. He was required. His fate was that he would always be a wanderer. But then we're told that he gets married. He has a child, Chanoch. Vayihi bona ir. He starts building a city, and he calls the city Chanoch based on the name of his son. Like many times developers will call a street name will name it after their child. What exactly is happening here? Why do we need to know this information? That Cain built a city? Shkoyach, it's really great. I'm glad he did, and he called it after his son. We need to know about who's making a donation. What's the significance of building a city and building it in his son's name? The Ramban is such a very powerful message, which I think is inspiring for us during these dark times. Says the Ramban that Cain was depressed. Cain was alone. He had nothing. And he knew that his fate was nava nud tiheh ba'aretz, that he was just going to be a wanderer. He had no future. He had no hope. All was lost. But Cain ultimately realized that while it may be very difficult for him right now, he can't do this to the future of his family. He can't allow the same fate to affect his children. He can't allow himself to sink into despair and thereby punish his children. Vayhi bona ir. What he did was he built. He started to build, and it's used in Lashon Hove, it's in the present tense. He continued to build and build and build. Although he was upset, he didn't allow his depression to sink him into despair, but rather he used it as motivation. He channeled it to do some positive. This explains the Oznaim LaTorah and others that this was an act of tshuva, that Cain realized that you have to build, that when things are tough, when things are difficult, we build. Other nations, other people may seek to destroy, and that's their MO, we just destroy. But Bnei Yisrael, following Cain, that when times are tough, we build. We always build, and we keep the flame of Yiddishkeit going. And he called that place after his son Chanoch, because Chanoch had a future, and he wasn't going to allow his family to not have a future. And that is what we are doing in Eretz Yisrael, and that's what our brothers and sisters are doing to ensure a future, not just for themselves, but ensure a future for their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren for many, many years to come. By He Bona Ir, no matter what happens, we will continue to build in Eretz Yisrael, build a Makom Torah, build an Ir Moshav, a safe place, build a place which is open to all, and a place which is a beacon of inspiration and spirituality to all those who witness it and who bask in its glory. May all of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael and around the world be comforted in knowing that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will continue to allow us to be Bonei Ir, and may we rejoice speedily and happily soon in Eretz Yisrael. Have a wonderful Shabbos.